everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Friends from Work. I'm Tom. This is Sean. And on today's episode, we're going to be guessing what shows will flop this year. It could be series premieres. It could be another season. We're going to see how it goes. But before we do that, do us a favor. Leave a like right now and subscribe down below. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok. Links are on the screen and down below. Other than that, Sean's going to name his. We're going to go one at a time. But Sean's going to name his first. And then
my number one, I don't know. I didn't really put them in order. But if I'll start off with that 90s show, I really don't want it to. I hope they can get it together. But I watched Girl Meets World. I peeped a few episodes of Fuller's House, some of that, and it just looks like
Fuller's House was garbage.
Yes, it looks like they've tried to remake. Girl Meets Boy was okay. They tried to do this before, remake some of our favorites, and I just don't think it's going to work. I hope it does. I'm going to watch every episode, and I'm going to try and watch it unbiased as I can. I just think it has big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
And I think that 70s show is like a groundbreaking, like especially for teenage kids, where like it was actually about teenagers. Like,
yeah.
And none of them were. There was like one popular one, and the rest were just like burnouts and average kids or losers or whatever. You know what I mean? So, like I said, it's got big shoes to fill, and I just don't think it's going to be able to live up to that.
No, yeah. I'll say for Girl Meets World, they kept it with the kids show. Like, they kept it kiddie. They didn't, but with Fuller House and probably with the 90s show, it's feeling a nostalgia thing. So they're catering it to more so your generation. I guess my generation too. We're a little younger.
We're like they still got Kitty and Red, and we're like it is more of my generation thing. Where like
we're gonna watch it more.
Or like you still go to your grandparents' house. Like kids don't do that anymore.
Yeah,
like when I was a kid, you went to your like in the 90s, you would go to your grandparents' house. Like kids don't do that now. No. So it's like the reason that 70s show was popular because it was about the 70s, but the high school age kids were still kind of doing that same shit, smoking weed in the basement, getting drunk, lying to their parents. You know what I mean? Taking their car too far, stuff like that. Now I just don't think there's the same connect where like I don't know, I don't hang out with a bunch of little kids.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem like they're doing the same shit that the kids were doing when I was
Yeah, my guess is how it's gonna go. Similar to Fuller House, because obviously those are both under Netflix. The first season of Fuller House was somewhat entertaining, I think. But again, it was a very nostalgia thing. It wasn't catering to how the original show was. Where it was catering to family stuff, it was catering to the fans that were of the previous show, doing a big nostalgia thing. It didn't really cater to new generation or like try to make it. I think,
like you said, it catered to like the remaining fans.
Yeah,
their fan base was girls.
Yeah,
so they brought back the most popular girl, and then she was a single mom, and that's kind of a thing right now too. So it just worked. They did I didn't like it, but it got like 5 seasons, right?
It did. It was
so people were watching though.
I watched the first season because it brought everyone back.
I've probably seen about 80% of it. My wife likes it, so I've seen. You know what I mean? She every once in a while I'll go to bed and she'll be watching it.
Wait, do they announce? Do they announce another season? Or?
I don't know. I know they got like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
So I don't like I said. At first I said you know what I mean I didn't like it, but that doesn't mean it's not good. Like, people enjoyed it.
Right. Other than that,
like I said, maybe that 90s show can kind of do that. I'm really going to be tuning in to see the cameo, or I don't know if they're cameos, but
guest
appearances with Eric and Fez.
I think first season's going to do well.
Oh yeah, I think it's gonna do okay. I just think like in numbers wise, I just think people are like ain't gonna be feeling it for season 2.
No.
I think everybody's gonna tune in for the first season.
Yeah, without a doubt, because they're doing it right.
I just think like the plot, nobody's gonna like the kids, stuff like that. Like
it's not gonna be the same. You got like you said, you got huge shoes to fill, and like what majority of that original cast are like icons now. Like
maybe they're like doing like a tester. They're like, let's say like the people like Eric and Donna and Kelso and them, and they move back.
Yeah, okay.
And then you know what I mean?
Like be neighbors or
or you know
what
I mean?
That.
Like they move because Fez. I saw in the preview. Fez lives there.
Yeah, he's a hairstylist.
Yeah, he's a hairstylist in the town somewhere, so he already lives there. I'm pretty sure Jackie and Kelso live close or something. They were like in work clothes or I don't know. So I know I only know for sure Eric and Donna don't live in. So maybe it's like a tester where like Eric at the end of the season, Eric and Donna are gonna move back.
Yeah.
And then maybe it'll be more about all of them instead of their kids.
That'd be cool. That'd be a cool dynamic.
I think I would have been more into that if they like all like everybody had still lived in the town and then 10 years later Eric and Donna or 20 years later Eric and Donna moved back.
Yeah.
That'd have been
cool. So one of the ones I have I'll save it. I'll wait. I don't want to start off hot.
Mm-hmm.
I have Free Ridge, and what that is a. Did you ever watch On My Block?
Yeah.
That's the spin-off show of that. And the reason I say it's gonna fly, it hasn't come out yet.
It was a Netflix show, right? On My Block.
Yeah, it was a Netflix show. It had 3 or 4 seasons. I can't recall. But I believe this is gonna flop is because main reason let's go with On My Block is because the last 2 seasons were really shaky. The first initial season was amazing. The second one was pretty good. Third one was meh. The fourth one was again had some good point highlights in there, obviously, but I would say the last 2 seasons were at least mixed review wise. This is the same exact show. It's just like they casted like Walmart versions of the same exact characters. Like it was like I watched the trailer because I didn't want to just look at the poster. Like I watched the trailer, made notes like, okay, let me give it a chance. No, I'm not giving the show a chance. And they already flopped with another spinoff, the Witcher spinoff, Blood Origin. That
I don't know. I haven't watched it. I watched the first episode and I didn't think it was terrible.
I haven't heard.
I was kind of bored with the last one with Henry Cavill. I think this is one of those things where everyone's mad Henry left. Henry said like I left because this was gonna be whack, and so everyone's like it's whack.
Yeah,
like, so
I think it's a combination.
Yeah, so maybe too. I watched it. It was okay. I don't think it was worse than The Witcher season 2, like based on the first episode.
I never finished that.
I'll just say that I don't think it was any worse than The Witcher 2. I haven't watched the whole thing yet though.
Yeah, and then with Free Ridge, it's the same exact plot. It's another heist or like another treasure hunt type thing, but instead of like what was it called, Roller World Money, it's they're like spirits or some shit like that. I mean, I think the first season will, again, how he said earlier, the 90s show will do good. I think this first season will do good because it did have a good fan base. On My Block did have a good fan base. I was one of those people in the said fan base. I said that a lot. But I think I don't think it'll do well overall. And especially how Netflix recently has been like just dropping shows
they're just
all
giving
the
you
time.
your shit, and then if you don't make it, you're gone.
Yeah.
Like I said, Resident Evil got canceled after like
within a month.
Yeah, like that's crazy. Like I don't understand why they canceled because like I don't know, you let it sit on there till Christmas, maybe, you know what I mean, or not. Yeah, maybe eventually it catches
give it
traction.
2 months or something.
Yeah, they were like, I guess maybe a lot of people watched it and they all just said they hated it.
Yeah, I think it's because you can always do thumbs up or thumbs down. They probably measure that too. A lot of people could have voted.
I never put thumbs up or thumbs down.
No, but I know that's a part of it. I missed the rating system, by the way. Netflix rated the 5 stars. That was more accurate than thumbs up or thumbs down. It made me feel better. They gave me better. Anyways, but yeah, that is my one of my picks for Free Ridge. I don't think it's going to do well first season. I'm not going to watch it, but I don't think it makes it. I'll give it benefit of doubt. I don't think it makes it past season 2. I don't think it's going to make it past season 1, in my opinion, but I'll be nice and say past season 2. What's your next pick?
I'll put down Succession season 4.
Oh, you think it's going to flop?
Yeah, I just think it's getting. I mean, season 3 was kind of boring. Boring's not the word. It's just more of the same. Like it's just the same thing.
Kinda
like different
itself.
players. It's like 2 out of the 3 siblings are working together. The third one fucks them over. Like it's like that is like on repeat. Like so, it's just getting a little tedious. Like their dad almost dies. And like basically, it's like they all cook up a plan.
Yeah.
They're gonna fuck their dad over. He almost dies. He gets one of them to switch to his side. Then them 2 fuck both of them over. Then one of the other ones join them, and then 3 of them fuck. And then at the end of the season, it's just like 3 of them, and then one of the siblings. Yeah, it's like. So I think everyone's just getting tired of it. I haven't really heard any traction. A lot of people who kind of put me on a Succession and really been gassing it up kind of faded. I don't know if it's been so long. I don't know.
It's been a while.
Maybe it's just been a long. I don't know. I just have a feeling that this season is going to be like the worst one they've had so far.
That threw me. I didn't think you were going to say that. That was a plot twist right there because he's the one who put me on to Succession.
I like Succession. I think just season 3, I just kind of felt like they were doing the same thing over and over and over again.
Yeah, I will agree. It did drag a lot. I will say that.
I think it would have been better if they ended it like 2 or 3 seasons. I mean, sometimes I think they catch a little heat and they're like, "Oh, we're going to drag this shit."
That's just like the biggest thing for any TV show ever.
I would do if I was an exec, I would do it more along the lines of spin-off. I'll fit like if I had a cool story that I didn't want to drag along, like their dad, like he's old, he's gonna almost die 10 times to get your plot across. Let him fucking die and then do a spin-off.
Yeah.
With the characters that everyone liked the most. Like
yeah.
They could have did Succession 2 seasons. The dad dies, one of the fucking brothers takes over, and it'd be about the brother and the sister trying to get it back from the other brother. Like I don't know.
Some shit, you'll figure it out. or just keep it in that same
something like that. Get the dad out there, but like you don't have to keep like they're like, oh, this formula works where the dad almost dies, one of the kids feels bad, so he joins them back. It's like it's annoying.
I agree. Yeah, that's a fair point. That was a shocker for me, guys. I didn't expect that one, but hearing those points, I mean, I can't argue with that. I will say season 3 did drag a bit. It felt a little lull, some lull points.
It just felt like you knew it was gonna happen too.
Yeah. But yeah. So next on my list, I have Witcher season 3.
Oh yeah.
Big reason.
Yeah. I mean,
Henry Cavill is not in it.
I'm not a big fan when people say, "Oh, it got review bombed," but I think this is one of those things where it's like people are taking a protest and not watching. Usually, people are like, "Oh, it got review bombed." Like, you mean a bunch of people who didn't like it actually voted that they didn't like it? Like, that's just how voting works.
Yeah, that's how it works, Shane.
But I think a lot of people are like not watching this out of protest.
Yeah, because Henry Cavill's not in it, and he even came out and said, he said the writers.
He said why he left. Was they weren't staying true, and it's like, so that's like, I agree with you. I think that's good. When I was looking through, I don't even remember even seeing that. I thought I saw Blood Origin. I didn't know season 3 was coming. But yeah, it's gonna be a big flop.
And that spinoff
people are team Henry. Like I said, the first episode will have to be epic for them to get any kind of traction.
Yeah, it's the first.
I would say like the first 15 minutes of the first episode have to be crazy.
But yeah, so I don't think it's going to make it past season 3. I'd be very surprised, especially with, again, recasting. This is not on Liam Hemsworth. Do not give him any flack.
Yeah, I don't think it's his fault, no.
But I don't think it's going to do well overall. I mean, there's pretty quick points for me on that. But
I think we're just moving this era where like producers and writers think they bigger than the people. It's like
egos.
The actors, you know what I mean? Even if the actors do have big egos, the actors are who we're coming to see. Yeah. Like it just is what it is. Like, you know what I mean? There's a reason Arnold Schwarzenegger can barely speak English, and he's one of the biggest movie stars there ever was. It's like we're going to see him. Like it didn't really like you don't actually have to be a good actor, as you know what I mean, to a certain extent if you got the look,
right? Obviously, depending
and the swag and the right script. And I think, like I said, I cannot believe they let Henry Cavill. Like, whatever he wants to do for Witcher, you do it. Yeah. Like, whatever he says. If the director, the writer, like, get him out of here then. Like, he's Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan, and then the coach, if he doesn't like the fucking coach, you get him out of there. Like, and they're doing the opposite. Like, we're Netflix. You know, it's
bitch.
Whatever. Like, you just lost. Exactly. Like, I'm assuming he wasn't getting paid crazy. Like, he probably was doing it for a fair price. I'm not saying he probably wasn't getting lowball, but I mean, he wasn't like holding them.
I want to Google it.
Yeah, he probably wasn't. Let's see.
Yeah, Google it.
I want to know because, like I said, I never saw anything crazy.
Nah, maybe I'll say $100K per episode, 100 to 200K. I feel like that just sounds like because Henry Cavill's a big name and that's a big franchise. I don't think $1 million yet. I don't think for that.
He got $1 million per episode for Witcher season 2.
Okay, never mind.
So season 1 was
myself.
probably like $100,000.
I said 250.
Yeah, no, it probably was a lot less. They just didn't know how good it was going to be, so they.
But $1 million? Damn, I thought
that's a lot. I
thought for this season.
But there's only like 6, right, or something. It's not like 12.
No, it's not.
It's like maybe 10.
But that makes sense. I'm not surprised at the number at all.
But that's what we said, like 10 mil, a modest, fair, like, and it's
for
like
his status.
For his status, yeah. Well, you know, anyway, yeah. I would
shit. I shit at 10.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I never held him. Like, he could have held him hostage after season 1 and been like, you would give me $5 million an episode. Yeah. They probably would have had to do it.
Yeah.
But I would, like I said, they need to go more back to how like sports does it. Like the players are what matter, like, and the actors are what matter. Especially when you got a franchise. Not always. If like you got a vision and this guy's being an asshole, like Edward Norton, where like he's fucking up your vision for the Avengers, and even though he's a great actor, you got to get the fuck out of here. Like that makes sense. But like you got a guy who just killed The Witcher. People love it. Fucking, he's also Superman, and people love him. And it's like, you know what? And then you piss him off. He comes out. Publicly saying like the reason I didn't leave because of money, I left because they don't care because I want this to be like a fan service and fucking they didn't want to do that and fucking now like you said it's gonna flop.
Like, it's gonna flop hard.
And like you said, they showed with Blood Origin already, and it's like, and like I said, I watched the first episode in its entirety and I didn't think it was terrible. I didn't think it was the worst shit they got on there.
Yeah, I think that show's definitely gonna flop after this season. If they announce another season, I'll be fucking mind blown. I don't think it's gonna make it past.
The sidebar a little bit. I was just I was looking up what I thought was gonna flop. I was reading a story about the animated show on HBO Max. I don't know if it came out this year, but recently. Thelma.
Oh, that's literally on my list.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it? Did it come out this year?
Yeah.
I was just reading how bad the reviews were.
Oh yeah. We'll save that in a minute.
We'll go back into it then. Go ahead. Is it me now?
Yeah.
What did I say? Succession. Let me look.
Yeah. You said Succession.
That 90s show.
That 90s show.
And I'll say Agatha. I just don't think it's gonna do good. It's leaked out that Mephisto is going to be the bad guy in like Ironheart.
Yeah, that's weird.
So is he? If he's not going to be the bad guy in Agatha, it's going to be like he can't be the bad guy in 2 different shows back to back. That's just not how Marvel moves. So I mean, I just don't think he's going to be in the bad guy in Agatha because it says he's going to be the bad guy in Ironheart. So if he's not the bad guy in Agatha, it's going to be whack. And Wanda's probably only going to be in like 1 or 2 episodes.
Yeah.
So I just think I don't know. There's nothing there.
Yeah, they haven't dropped it. Once they drop a trailer, like I went off of trailers and stuff that they've given some, so I can have an idea. But I'll semi-agree with you. I just don't have enough information on it yet.
I just looking. I just think they should have did like a special movie that's like an hour.
They did the what is it called? Their specials, like they did Werewolf by Night.
Yeah, just something like that. I'm not opposed to seeing her because I think. If they use Mephisto, there's some space for it to explain, but I think it'll just flop because it's going to be dragged out, stretched out to 6 to 8 episodes when it's really only 2 episodes worth of content.
Yeah. All right. So next on my list is actually what he brought up is Velma. Yeah. It's a Scooby-Doo spin-off series told in Velma's perspective.
But it's with all of them?
Yeah.
They're all in it?
Yeah. It's the whole Mr. Gain. It's like a rated R version. It's supposed to be very raunchy and stuff. But exactly like Sean said, I think it's not going to make it past season 1. It is already out.
It has one of the worst viewer audience scores ever.
Yeah.
Again, one of those things where I think it might be some review bomb. How could it be that? It's rated lower than the Dragon Ball Z movie, the live action movie, and that's like the worst movie ever.
But yeah, no.
But it has a lower rating than that. Which is like I can't even fathom how an animated show about Scooby-Doo even. I thought it was like just her, like they split up or something. It was just.
I think it's her. I think she's probably the main character. They pop it. I don't know. I haven't watched it. I've just seen the trailer. I haven't watched any of the show episodes or episode. I don't know how much of it is out. But when I watched the trailer, it fell flat. The comedy. If you're trying to be raunchy and stuff, make it raunchy. But it has that similar issue as She-Hulk when there really are, or Thor: Love and Thunder, those type of contexts when they're trying really hard to be funny instead of just naturally letting it flow. That's the vibe I got from the clips I've seen. And they're like recasting like Shaggy, the voice actor alone. It's not. What's his name? I'm totally blanking on his mind. But the guy
Matthew Lillard.
Yeah, Matthew Lillard. It's on him. They're just like recasting and redesigning all these characters, and it's weird.
Like I said, this is one of the weird shows where like I thought the comments were gonna be like She-Hulk, where like half were defending and half were, and it was not.
No,
like everyone's like, this show fucking sucks.
Yeah,
and it's the worst. Like.
Which is surprising because Mindy Kaling, she's written some good shows. I heard Mindy Project was always received well.
It was okay, yeah. I mean, it's never pretty funny.
But she's always been funny too, which is really surprising. She actually was a writer at some point. I forgot what season she started, but she was helping The Office too with writing. Obviously, they had a great team in general. Yeah. But she was also a part of that. And I'm like, in my head, if you're a part of that, even if you weren't a major part, you're gonna absorb all that knowledge for all those seasons.
Sit in those rooms.
Yeah. So like in my head, I'm very surprised at it. That it's been so reviewed poorly, but I don't. This show ain't gonna make it. It ain't gonna make it past whatever they have out now.
Yeah, I don't. Like I said, I haven't seen it. I didn't hear why it was supposed to be so bad, but I just saw some things going viral about how bad it was, and I saw a screenshot of like the Rotten Tomatoes audience score, and it was lower than Dragon Ball Evolution, which, like I said, could possibly be the worst movie there ever was. Definitely the worst like. Video game, comic book, whatever you want to call it, like live action, it was god awful.
Is it worse than John Henry?
No, I don't think it's a worse movie than John Henry. John Henry is a terrible movie. That might be the worst movie. Like the plot and everything. Like at least Dragon Ball, it like has a plot and it's like I already know what it's just like the characters look terrible, the CGI is terrible, like. They're still like they kind of changed the plot, but it's just like it doesn't work at all. But John Henry is terrible. That is a terrible movie.
What was that? Oh, No Remorse, Without Remorse.
No, No Remorse. Like that's a bad movie. I think that's just like a bad movie. Not like
it's not awful.
Not comically bad. Just like they hyped that movie up for like 3 months.
We were so excited.
Like they were literally gassing that movie up like it was gonna be like the next big thing.
Yeah,
and it definitely just was like a fucking 4 out of 10. Like.
So bad.
But fucking John Henry's like a fucking 0.3 out of 10.
Wow,
I literally have never seen the end of the movie. At one point, I was like, "This is it. I'm not watching this anymore." Because even when I watch a movie that's bad, I try and get through the end. But there was this point where like I can't do this anymore. Like,
yeah, I know.
how did fucking Ludacris and fucking Terry Crews? These are like A-listers. Watch this movie, like do this movie. They must have just were like, here's a bag full of money.
Yeah, that had to
and a bag full of cocaine. Do it right now before you do any of these scenes. Oh God.
But anyways, your turn.
Well, that was all one. I had one last one that was honorable mention. I don't know. I'm like in the middle about it, but I got The Mandalorian on flop alert. I don't think there's gonna be any Jedis in it. I don't think there's gonna be any like
this upcoming season. You think it's gonna flop after this season? It's no more.
Yeah, I would just think like this is gonna be their worst season by far, and be the worst rated one. I just think what they're going to go do, they kind of like they've got their highs are so high already. I just don't think they're gonna like. How do you match Luke coming back again? Like, you know what I mean? Like, well, how do you ever do anything even close to that?
That is true.
Like,
that's fair.
So I think that they'll never be able to live up to the hype that originally went. And it felt like it's been so long.
It's been a while, yeah. But it's coming March 1st.
Yeah, it's coming soon, and I'm gonna watch them all. And like I said, I hope it's not. I just have a feeling that like this season's gonna be kind of dry. Boba Fett was kind of whack. But I mean, the parts of Boba Fett that was good were with the Mandalorian. But he was going to visit Luke and shit. Yeah. So it's like. I don't know how much of that they're gonna do. Like, I don't think we're gonna see Luke again, like, or Ahsoka again. Like, I don't know.
We'll see Ahsoka and Ahsoka.
Yeah, I'm talking about a Mandalorian. Like, Ahsoka's gonna be good.
Yeah, I think with Mandalorian, I think this season will be a tad bit shaky. They're dropping a trailer this weekend, actually, if I'm not mistaken, at the time of this recording. Yeah. So I'll see how that trailer is, and then kind of determine it from there. But I think this season. I will agree with you somewhat. Will be somewhat lackluster comparatively to the first two. That's natural though. That's for a lot of shows. Obviously, there's some exceptions, but generally, it's hard to beat your first season, especially your second season, because majority of the time, for shows, their second season is usually when they start hitting their prime. For the most part, again, there are exceptions, but that's usually when they start rolling the ball a lot during the second season. But we'll see. I'm a little hesitant on that. Flop alert's a good
like
word.
I said, I don't 100% think it. I just think I have to see that maybe the trailer's coming out. I just have worries. It's been so long. It like I said, the highs in Mandalorian, like I said, or it's like when Obi-Wan fought Vader, like when Luke comes and saves Baby Yoda and all that shit, and you see him again when he's building his village. Like there's just a lot of stuff for like for the Star Wars universe that like that's what made Mandalorian so good. It's like I don't know. Maybe they got something up their sleeve where they're going to bring somebody else back we haven't seen before. Or like, you know what I mean? See Yoda's spirit ghost or something. I don't know.
Or maybe we'll see fucking Hayden Christensen.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Not alive, but
something like that. Yeah, maybe we'll see something. Spirit. Or like some bad Sith with the, you know what I mean, Jedi, or bad Sith with the lightsaber. Yeah. Something like that. I think they're going to need something like that, or it's just going to not feel as epic as the ones before.
I'm pretty sure we'll see something. Something like
that. That's what I'm saying. Maybe they'll trailer, and they'll tease it in the trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because one that I will be upset with is the last season, and I never watched Clone Wars, but the guy who looked like Squidward.
Yeah.
What was his name?
I forgot what you're talking about. I know what you're talking
about. Well, that was such a hyped villain I heard in like the Clone Wars scene, and like he died like in 2 episodes. Like, it was such a.
I kind of see it, but he was like a badass, but he was basically just like a gunslinger. So it wasn't like he was Luke, where like he fucking was like could jump to. He was just like a badass Mandalorian type, where like he didn't have any powers or anything. He was just like really good with his gun, and like I said, just one of them, like that big ass Chewbacca like dude who like.
Sure.
But I do think they kind of wasted him in that sense. I do think they could have, you know what I mean? They should have let him get a couple kills first.
Yeah, that's how I felt.
I think they should have just brought him in from the beginning and let him kill a couple people at some point.
Because you knew he was going to die.
Yeah, obviously, he's not going to fucking kill Mando.
No, but I would have enjoyed to see him a little more, but it is what it is. Alrighty, my next one I have on my list, I've been saving it for the last because I knew I'm going to have to go off a lot here, is Gotham Knights. That show will definitely probably get, obviously its first season. I don't know how many episodes it is. I think it was 10. Yeah. Season 1 only does have 10 episodes. But I'm going to list off some points here. And this is what really blew my mind. All right. So the main characters that I found out, I had to do research because they didn't say it in the trailer who was who, only some characters. Joker's daughter, There's a girl named Carrie Kelly, which is a female Robin. And then some other villains' kids. I would assume Dent's kid, Harvey Dent, is in the show. So I believe his kid's involved in some way, shape, or form. And then Batman's son is Turner Hayes. Just some random fucking kid. Like, it's no Tim Drake, no Jason Todd.
Do they not have the rights to them or something? Or?
I don't know. No Dick Grayson or anything like that.
Maybe they're going to use them in some other stuff.
Yeah. And then it's Commissioner Sato, not Detective Harvey or Gordon, obviously. It's quote unquote an original story / plot, so it doesn't have any storylines from the comics, which I think is stupid. But see, like I said, season 1 does only have 10 episodes. And in my head, and we were talking about this off screen, and we've said this general on and off screen, when it comes to certain franchises or anything like that you're dealing with that has a really hardcore following, Batman, DC in general, why are we trying to do like this whole like thing of, oh, let me just make a cool original plot? There's like 100 years worth of DC shit that you could just kind of pick at. You don't even, but you're like, no, I want to be original.
Well, they don't even want to use the names.
Yeah.
Is this female Robin actually? Was there ever a female Robin? Like
at some point.
I thought.
But it was brief. It was like Barbara Gordon, but she turned into Batgirl.
That's what I meant. Like, yeah, she was the female. The female Robin was always like Batgirl.
Yeah.
That does seem weird. When you told me like the initial plot where like you didn't have any names or anything, but you were like, oh, Bruce's son, Bruce dies and his son doesn't know he was Batman.
Yeah.
And he had a Robin and he was kind of investigating. I was like, that's not too bad. Like, maybe, you know what I mean? I don't know how old his son is. Maybe he just didn't want to tell his son yet.
Around my age is my guess.
Oh, well, then I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe,
no.
You know what I mean? Maybe he was gone when his son was a kid or, you don't know. So I was kind of intrigued, but now hearing that, like, everybody's got different names and they're doing weird shit. It's like, why? Why can't he be fucking Damian fucking Wayne or Tim Drake or whoever the fuck you want to fucking, like, what's wrong with him?
You have 5 Robins.
Yeah, exactly. Why does it have to be? Why can't he be Damian Wayne? I don't understand.
Yeah.
Because Damian, like, was a Robin or whatever, but it's like you're making, like you said, it's your own thing.
Or at least name him. Like, that's the part that bothered me. You have 5 Robins.
Why is it Hayes?
I don't know. Turner.
So maybe it's his, like, love child then? Like, maybe it's
No, he was living at his house. So, like, I watched the trailer. It's like Turner Hayes has been living at Bruce's house. Like, that's his kid, so he's always lived at the Wayne Manor.
Maybe he, like, just moved in, like, recently. Well, his name not Wayne. If his last name's not Wayne, he obviously didn't live there.
Well, he's adopted.
Oh, it's an adopted kid?
Yeah, Bruce is always adopted, yeah.
I thought Damian was his.
Yeah.
Damian was
his.
Yeah,
that's his first natural born, but everyone else is adopted.
Okay. Well, I meant all the Robins, but damn, it's just weird.
Yeah, the trailer is really stupid because Carrie Kelly, the female Robin, she was like, yeah, I always worked with your dad. I was his eyes and ears. I was his little Robin. I'm like, fuck you. Fuck this show. Eat shit. And CW is going to do a really stupid thing. At first, I was going to go with, I think we'll have 2 seasons. But they did cancel Batwoman really fast. Or Batgirl.
Well, no, they cancel it, then they, like, recast, right? Then
they recast and then cancel. So, maybe we'll have 2 seasons. Yeah.
They canceled it with the lesbian girl. What was her name? She's, like, famous for being a hot lesbian. I don't know. She's got, like, tattoos. She was in Orange and News Black.
She was in,
I don't know. But they canceled her season, then brought it back with the black girl, and then they, like, canceled it, like, halfway through, or, like, they were about to release it for season 3, and they never did it. I don't know. She had, like, a movie, too, right? Or there was a Batgirl movie coming out that they canceled. Yeah, that's separate,
though, which I thought was stupid.
Yeah, why the fuck you doing Batgirl? We haven't got a Batman. We haven't had a Batman movie in a while.
Yeah. Well, I think it's regarding the Batgirl movie, I think it's stupid to cancel it because it was finished. I think we've said this before. I forgot on what episode, but we were said, why not just fucking drop it on HBO Max? Make some of your money. But if it's already done,
you won't make any money. But somebody might like it.
Like what's the?
They do need to get back and like just do content that people might like instead of like trying to make a buck off of everything. Like, you'll make it in the back end. Like if shit's good, you sell
merchandise.
Merch. Or you like, oh, Batgirl's doing good. Hey, Netflix, you guys want to rent it for a couple? You know what I mean? A year. Yeah. Like you make it back in the back end if it's doing good. Like every time I look up, there's a bunch of Disney shit back on Netflix because why? They're like, oh, it's doing good. We'll let them rent it out a little bit. Times are hard. Like we didn't make our nut back on this movie, so we're not going to be all inclusive on all our content.
Yeah, no, Gotham Knights, I don't think it's going to be a good show at all. I'm not even giving it the time of day.
Well, initially I thought it was on HBO Max. Then when I found out it was on CW, it's going to be so like I don't know, girly's not the word, but like teen drama.
Teen
drama, exactly. CW, They're bread and butter, and there are many shows that I love.
And it's funny you said that because I watched
on CW
the trailer. Yeah, it showed like two teens hooking up.
Yeah, I was gonna say like on CW, like they meet out, one night stand type of shit. Like
so fucking
that's
stupid.
the CW's bread and butter. So I'm sure it's gonna be kind of whack. Yeah, that's just not Batman's vibes. Batman's like dark and gritty.
Yeah,
because Smallville was kind of before they started doing that. There was the teenage thing, but like the girl boy love thing. But Clark was so modest that it was never like, or you said like the steamy thing where like every hot teenager would hook it up.
Baby,
like even his friends couldn't do that because Clark would be like, no, you can't do that. Like so like there was no like sex or like I remember the first time I think Clark doesn't have sex into the show until like season 6 or 7. He loses his powers. And he has sex that day with her, but it's like he's like 20 years old. Like he's like the nice, wholesome thing. So it's like, yeah, I know what you're saying. Like I can only imagine those scenes are gonna be. So he's a rich kid living in Gotham.
He's like a rich, spoiled brat. That's
like it's gonna be. Yeah,
it's gonna be bad.
It's kind of like Arrow would get like that at times, where it's just like everyone's hooking up. You're like, what the fuck is going on?
But yeah, no, I know it's gonna be bad because when they announced the show Gotham Knights, the video game, it was also bad. But it got such bad fact. The video game came out and said we are not affiliated with that show in any way, shape, or form. I mean, the game was bad regardless, in my opinion.
You know what day it comes on?
No.
That's a good indicator of if it's going to be bad or not. If it's not on the day that Flash comes on, they probably think it's going to be bad.
Yeah, but it's not going to be good. I have zero hope for this show at all. I don't get how they're fumbling this again. They should just fucking cancel it now. Just cancel it.
I don't know. The CW cannot do. The CW can't do Batman because they can't do dark.
No,
they don't want to do dark.
They don't want to do
dark. They did Arrow
anymore.
for a little bit.
Yeah, but once Flash came out.
Yeah, but Batman's like even darker than Arrow. So, I just think they do better. Like what they're aiming for doesn't work for Batman. They should just leave Batman alone.
They should. They should have how they would hint at him during Arrow, like, oh yeah, Bruce, like that's fine. Have him involved in the universe, but don't bring him.
They should do like an Aquaman. I think they do a great Aquaman for a while, like who lived on Earth. I think I said Flash had its moments. They just ran out of material. It just got boring.
It was also 9 seasons, 23 episodes.
Yeah, they ran out of material. That's all it was. It does. I wouldn't say that it was bad in the beginning at all. Just, they ran out of shit to do. Same with Arrow. They ran out of stuff to do, and they were just dragging along because they were making money. It wasn't even contract. They just were making more money, commercials, all that. Now, and then once streaming came around, they kind of got rid of a lot of that shit. Cause they're like, oh, we're not getting the commercial money anymore. But now, I can't. Flash is 9 seasons.
This is their last season.
Oh my god! I stopped watching like I think 5.
Yeah, it's been a while.
When his daughter came back, that shit was whack.
It was so stupid. So stupid. I'm not gonna bother watching the last season. I'm so far behind. It's not worth it.
No, I'm not watching Flash.
I'm good. I wish you the best, Grant Gustin.
Yes.
I hope you come in the DC movies. Same with Stephen Amell. I hope they come in the movies, but I will not watch that fucking show. But yeah, Gotham Knights I don't think is gonna do well at all.
No.
They're not even attempting to touch the fucking any of their storylines in any way, shape, or form. They're like, we'll make our own because we're better than DC the past 100 years. Suck a dick, eat shit.
When we first were doing this, the number one thing I put on my list was Last of Us. But when I saw the first episode, and it's not gonna flop.
No, it's not.
Fucking amazing. So, but when we were initially doing that, I thought it was just a video game shows and TV and movies always are big flop potential. But like I said, the first episode alone, the show can't flop. Like it was amazing. If the rest of the episodes were kind of whack and bland, it was still like good enough.
And you know why I think Last of Us is continuing not going to flop? I think it's going to be the first video game franchise to actually succeed on TV and be well reviewed. Is because the creator of the video game is the co-creator of the show.
I think that's some of it. I just think also, too, I think it's one of those games that works well into a movie.
Because it is a movie.
It kind of flows right. Like Resident Evil isn't. It's so like, I think if they wanted to, if they had the wherewithal that, hey, we can make these into movies, they wouldn't have been so chaotic. But the games are just so crazy that it don't work. Same with like Max Payne when they tried to make it into a real life thing. It was like that game was just you running around killing like people by the hordes, and it's like, so when they went to go make a movie, they had just make up some shit because you can't just go around shooting people like crazy. So I think this one, like the why people also love Last of Us so much, the story is really good, riveting. And
10 years later it's still up.
And it's fucking, and it just flows really well into a TV show format. And they picked really good characters. I think it's going to work really well.
I'm very excited.
Uncharted is a good example of that too. That game transitioned to a movie very well. It's not a blockbuster or anything, but I thought it. I'm sure they're gonna make 3 movies with Mark Wahlberg and fucking Tom Holland. Like I said, I don't think it was a blockbuster. I'd give it a 5 or 6 or something. But
that's fair.
I think it was a great transition from the game. I don't think the game was a 10. I thought the game was like a 6 or a 7.
I only played the Thief's End. I like that a lot.
Yeah, it was a fun game. It was like a male version of Tomb Raider. Nothing, like I said, groundbreaking. It was fast paced. You get through it. It's kind of fun. But like I said, you had no urge to play it again after you played it the first time.
No. It had a good story. But yeah. Did you have any other shows?
No, not really.
No?
Yeah. No.
Okay. That is the end of this episode, guys. Before you head out, leave a like and subscribe. Comment down below what shows you think are going to flop this year. And if you agree or disagree with the ones that we have listed. If you fucking disagree with Gotham Knights, honestly, unsubscribe. You're not worth it. Fuck you.
Tell us in the comments if you think that too. If you have a comic, write about us.
Yeah. But yeah, follow us on Instagram and TikTok. Links are on the screen and down below. Other than that, I'm Tom. This is Sean, and we'll see you guys next episode. Take care.